Mr. President, we have Trish Terada of CNN Philippines.
Hi, sir. Good evening. Sir, there are recent protests and clamor against the train law and the increasing prices of goods. They're calling, there is a petition to suspend the train law. Is this something, sir, that you would like to consider amid these clamor? And at the same time, is it something that you would, if not, how do you plan or how does the government plan to address this, especially that the wage hasn't been raised yet?
Well, the law was enacted by Congress. I leave it to Congress to decide whether or not to amend or suspend or modify the law. I leave it to Congress. There's no value in giving so much importance of what I want. Because kung sabihin ko naman na wag, because we need it for the build. At kung sabihin nila talagang palitan natin, wala naman akong magawa. At kung sabihin naman nila na, well, we'll just have to bite the bullet and go on, wala rin akong magawa kung yan ang desisyon nila.
Sir, I understand that the Labor Department is already moving towards asking the wage board to increase the minimum wage. But sir, on your part, sir, do you have any call or message to business owners, employers about this to address lang, sir, the clamor for a higher wage amid the rising prices of goods?
Well, for one thing, we cannot legislate. Actually, cost of money is a matter of a cycle of economy. But let me just give you, although it is not totally the excuse. Alam mo kasi, there seems to be a self-flagellation amongst a large number of Filipinos. Predicate lang to. Right after the Second World War, everybody was into rehabilitation of their countries. And the United States did it for Japan, the martial law, maybe of the sense of guilt what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki of the atomic bomb. Philippines was also compensated. But we went to war because we wanted it. It was imposed on us because we were a colony of another country. But we suffered. The destruction of that country was massive. Manila was flattened and many died. Post-war, lahat nagre-repair na. And although it is not, I said, an excuse for anybody, sabi nila ang Philippines was second to Japan only in the rate of how it was evolving. Ngayon, nahuli na tayo. Was second to Bangladesh, which is the last in the list. Alam mo, remember that yung mga kapitbahay natin had the commodity na binigay ng Diyos sa kanila na wala sa atin. And what was that? It's oil. Meron silang oil. Lahat ito makita mo is a product of oil. Everything that you see. Lahat yan yung it's run or made by machine, lathe or powered by oil. Indonesia had it. Malaysia have it. Brunei meron. Tayo, we were at the mercy of the oil-producing nations. And sometimes in 1972, there was this reduction of supply. And there was, in the country, we had to go to a coupon to buy the oil. until now, ang oil pa rin. Pag tumaas ang oil, talagang maghabol tayo. And we need it to run our lights tonight, my talk here, lahat. Lahat makita mo is oil na wala sa atin. Pagka bumaba yan, bababa lahat. Kaya ganon. I mean, it could caution the impact of a worldwide, maybe recession in some other countries. America just maybe recovered, I don't know. But tayo hirap because we have to import oil. Wala tayong supply niyan. Ngayon yung sa Alegria, I was humbled before God na for the first time we struck oil and there was gas spewing up the fire from the ground because the oil is there and the gas is going on top. So it's really, yung sabihin mo na whether it is a legislated salary, which is not really the practice, o hirap tayong lahat dito, it's oil. It's not because we are doing bad in business. We are doing fine. The exports. Problem is, I said, we have to buy oil to run everything, including to reach where you want to work. So you have to ride, it's eating oil. That machine is a product of oil in the factories, powered by oil. Yan ang, walang magandang lalaki dyan. If it would go up, we would be pretty hard up. But if it goes down, then we are better off. Yan ang sekreto. Huwag ka masyadong, you dwell on some other matters about this, about that. Everything is doing well in our country. Maybe some problems here, there. But we are in a hurry in our infrastructures. But always the rate of speed with which we will produce or finish them is really dependent on one vital commodity na wala sa atin, it's oil. The Alegria oil there, I suppose, would barely support the needs of the Visayas area. But let us pray that God, hindi ko talaga alam paano niya, all our neighbors, may oil. Yung ibang far beyond our shores, yung ibang meron. Bakit tayo hindi binigyan at kukunti ngayon lang, and which has stymied the quality of time. We had so many opportunities, tapos wala dyan. Because it's all oil. Yan ho ang sagot ko.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes.
President. One more.
Layo pa.
Lady Vicencio.
We are scheduled to depart 12:20. I can address your question, about 30 questions more.
Alright, thank you po. Good evening po, sir. To what extent po can we expect South Korea to be to help in the rehabilitation of Marawi City po? And if any po, do we have specific plans or programs already for this funds, if any?
Sandali, ha? Kasi nakatulog ako. Every time sana, ganun mo yan. Dumikit ang Ayaw lumabas ang gago ng hangin dito. Ano na? Ikaw
Yes
na
po,
ang-
sir.
Paano daw po makakatulong ang South Korea sa rehabilitation ng Marawi?
Katulad Korea sa atin? Well, a lot. Maybe you can have the cheaper price, investments, which are coming in. A lot of Korean enterprises that are in Mindanao for the agricultural endeavors, enterprises. But the only thing there is that our country remains to be a little bit topsy-turvy. There are areas which we cannot go into agricultural manufacturing. Ideally, it should be near the place where you plant or grow. Pero ang problema nito, at ang even Davao is not ready for, it's not accessible. That's the word. Hindi mo na maka-access doon ngayon kasi maggulong. So, we're trying to find out if we can succeed in the talks with the Communist Party. I have invited Season. I do not have the clear answer. But I said, if you come home, I will guarantee your safety and your security. If the talks fail, I'd be glad to escort you here and see you leave the Philippine territory. Pero sana, huwag ka nang bumalik. It was not a joke. Actually, it's my sentiment na we have suffered a lot, resources, lives, and all. At sana matagumpay. Pero kung hindi naman, sabihin ko na lang sa iyo na huwag ka nang bumalik. Let's end this by just shaking our hands and we will resume the violent war. It leaves us no other alternative. But as I said, I'm willing to talk. Ako ang gagaranti sa billeting nila, pagkain lahat. At my condition is that no demand for coalition. That is not acceptable to me at all. And any other group, for that matter, asking autonomy, I will not and I will never agree of any splintered armed group na sabihin mo, well, for example, itong sa BBL, I might as well be frank. I will accommodate, I will move the extra mile. But never would I agree that there will be a fissure somewhere. The PNP will remain one line to the last barangay tanod. The armed forces of the Philippines will only have one command from the Chief of Staff down to the PNP Chief down to the tanod, whether armed or not. We will cross the bridge when we are there, whether or not there would be a need to arm some sector of government who are not either in the military or in the police. But as of now, we have the CAFGOs. And, but I said a decision arrived at by all players sa gobyerno will be made. I was, paakyat ako dito, kita ko yung, ano ba tawag yung maliit na tabloid? That Ping Lacson says that there's more activity of corrupt government policemen and a combination of all. Not only the police, but maybe still referring to the uniformed personnel. At totoo yan. We will not deny that it's true, and we will not renege on our duty to put it down. Kunting, alang, seems to be a, you go full blast, and you have the human rights. Madugo to kasi kung sabihin mo police o mga armed gangsters. Just like in America, in South and both North, it's really a bloody war. And you see also corrupt policemen and soldiers there into crime, drug. The Philippines is no exception. But we will deal with the problem. Maybe a more industry. That's the word, more vigor. So I have this a national emergency, the one that I declared earlier, is really it's a measure that intends to, but all geared towards our so sacred oath and promise, lahat pati yung police pati military. We have that sworn duty, a sacred one, to protect the people and preserve the nation. And I will do it. We will do it. And it will be during our time. Sigurado yan. So long as everybody understands the problem, at hindi magyak-yak dyan sa, you begin to count the lives of innocent people lost. Do not begin to count the criminals, and maybe including the corrupt police and military men. Or, yung nasa gobyerno. And also, the corruption drive, anti-corruption will continue. It will be an effort that will be there. It's a constant thing. Corruption is hard to stamp out. But I have maybe a little more than what is required. We will clean up government, I assure you.
With the recent reshuffling po in the PNP, with the officials in the PNP, do we have new or additional marching orders to the PNP?
Mabuti pa dito ka sa tabi ko, ma'am. Talagang ayaw lumabas to. Because I had an accent. Hindi ako mag-excuse.
Yes po. With the recent reshuffling po of officials in the PNP, do we have additional or new marching orders to the PNP?
Well, I leave it to the PNP command. At your back is the guy who will do it. Earlier, when I talked to him and to the others, just do what is right and legal. Period. If we can clean the place legally and in a right mode, it will be good. But I said, there is a war of drugs going on. No less than a senator of the Republic of the Philippines has complained. It's there. Diyan sa Agdana, nakita ko yung sort of a bulletin. I will declare to Senator Lacson that we will do it. At the morning, again, the police and the military na kayo talaga ang mauna. Kayo ang mauna bago lahat. Kasi kayo yung, well, the most dangerous actually. You have the guns and you can fight. And we will give you what is due you. So, human rights, take note of the problem, and maybe you can commission some of your members to be with the police and the military when they go out in the field to enforce the law.
Thank you po. Thank you very much. Have a safe flight.
Ara
Wala
Perez,
pa.
DCMM.
Evening, Mr. President.
Let me explain, ma'am, ha? Bakit? Hindi ako matanda na. Rin dito. I had this bad spill sa motor. Since then, I broke. So it's impaired. Hindi ko malabas-labas kaagad yung, it's something is blocking.
Apo. Kailan po?
So I'm kind of a disabled
Yes.
person. So that's
What-
my disability. Impaired hearing. Since then, pagkatapos ng disgrasya ko, hindi na ako makarinig, pero makita kung lalo na kung kagaya mo.
Mr. President, what are the concerns of the Filipino community in South Korea that will be expected to be tackled during your meeting with them?
Well, yung working paper ko suggests that maybe the environmental concerns. Isa pa yan. Maraming papasok dito, but always, ang problema when you have something going on, there's always the residual in everything. So that's one. And kind of stressing to them that we welcome infrastructures, factories and all, but we must protect the environment. In some other place, in Davao City, Angol, the siltation of the mining soil that's the residual soil just plays around. Whenever the rain, they go down because it's an open pit mining. So they keep on, and if you go around the country, makikita mo that there's devastation really. I might decide, of course, in consultation with Congress, but I want them also to see how the extent of the damages to the country, the interest of the country, have been, so that we can understand each other when we talk. The Philippines could only take so much. We cannot entertain all who want to mine in the Philippines. There has to be something of a stoppage somewhere. Ako, I am in favor of not granting anymore and altogether change the method of getting the minerals out. Open pit cannot be a solution, and even yung digging it inside. Meron kayong nilalabas sa ano, and it goes down, whatever, it goes down to the tributaries, rivers, and to the sea. And it has damaged not only the environment around, but it has damaged the marine life of many. And you see that when you ride, you fly, and you so many communities, and the brown siltation is covers an area already impossible to manage. I'd like just to say that ang bayan po nangangailangan ng pera. But in this part of the investments dito sa mining, I would like to talk about it openly with the people in the coming days. I am not targeting it next year. I will do it this year. Maybe next year, baka wala na ako. You know, who knows? I want, as long as nandito pa ako sa mundong ito, I will do it while I am here. Lahat yan. And Boracay sing. Because ganito yan, it's a resort, international, first class. You know, I did not spend money for government just to accommodate yung mga mayayaman. It is not for them. That is why, kung meron ka, the remaining areas there, total agricultural pati forestal man, I have yet to see a document that says that it is also commercial and residential. So, ibigay ko na yan sa mga tao for agricultural purposes. Kapag hindi, kukunin ng mga may pera yan, gawin lang yan nila ng resort. Resort dito, resort doon, resort dito. And inland, mayaman, may mga mansion, mga resort, vacation houses, patay. Hindi ako gumastos dyan. Hindi ko inutosan yan si John Simato dyan maglinis para lang ibigay ko sa mga. No way. But I will most respectfully ask Congress to reserve a strip. Total ang commercial dyan, yung lang naman dagat eh. Yung puting sand, ano dyan, but beyond, sa likod, wala na yan. But if you have the money, you can have the, you know, it's in keeping with the style. O may bahay ako doon na, hindi ko lilinisin yan dyan para sa inyo. Ibigay ko yan, from where it ends, it goes to the farmers. I will not allow residential. You will spoil everything. Kasi rarami yan. Then, saan pupunta yan? Goes to the sea. Again. Now, if you have a huge water treatment there, but can we afford it? Can they afford it? Same. So, buti na yung magkaintindihan tayo ngayon. Salamat po.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Wala pa?
Isa pa?
Kung kaya pa yung piloto, sabi ni
Our
it's 12:30. Departure time is 12:30.
Bam Alegre of GMA 7.
Jeremy Sabe. President, good evening. President, yung from the United Nations, nag-comment na naman na special rapporteur about sa mga justices po na nag-express siya ng pagkabahala raw doon sa public statements niyo daw po kay dating Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, sir. Any comments about doon?
Again? Siya na lang. Unsa isulti niya?
Comment lang po ni President dun sa statements na nababahala raw yung
Pati pala ito yung hindi sumakay ng eroplano, hindi rin makarinig eh.
about yung public statements dun sa kay Sereno.
Mr. President, nababahala daw yung mga international justices dun sa si Mr. Diego Garcia Sayan, a special rapporteur on the independence of judges and lawyers since December 2016. Nababahala daw sa naging desisyon kay Chief Justice Sereno. Ano po daw ang inyong reaction, Mr. President?
About the decision,
About your statement daw po.
what about my statement about her?
Mga President, parang public threats daw that you made publicly daw kay Sereno na na-monitor niya siguro sa mga speeches and all. So this is an official from the UN, sir, na nag-express.
Who is this
ng
guy?
pagbabalat. This is Mr. Diego Sayan from Peru.
What is he?
It's a special rapporteur on about the independence of judges from the UN po siya.
About our judicial system here?
Yung ano daw po, yung mismong statements niya daw po. The statements he made public po about dating Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Like, enemy niyo siya daw and that she
So,
should be
nagalit
removed
ako
from
sa kanya.
office.
I said, gusto mo? Kasi sinabi ko na sa kanya, wala akong pakialam dyan sa sa co-warranto. Kalida is doing it because he's an Ilocano. He's hurt because of yung denial sa burial ni Marcos. Akala niya, nakikialam ako. You know, Kalida was doing it as an Ilocano. Ay, abogado yan. Pati yung siya nagdala ng ipalibing. Ako naman following the law. You're a soldier and a president. So, ano ba? And they were criticizing me left and right. That's the law. What can I do? Ito si Sereno kept on harping na Duterte. You can, if you would go and remember, sinabi ko sa kanya, hindi ako nakakialam dyan. Ngayon, sige, pagbalik ko galing, where was I? Singapore? Yeah. Sinalubong ng media ko, sinabi daw ni Sereno na may, kaya ako nagputok. Sabi ko, sinabi ko na sa iyong, nako, wala akong pakialam dyan. Magtanong ka ng isang congressman, ni isa lang, o senador ni isa lang. Huwag na marami, House of Representatives, 200 plus yan. Magtanong ka kung may sinabi ko ba na i-impeach natin ito, whatever. Makibang isa ka dyan, bababa ako pagka-presidente, I will resign. Hindi ako nakikialam. Siya yung, kaya ako nagalit. Why? Is it wrong? Sino yung rapporteur na yan?
Mr. Diego Sayan, he's from Peru, sir. Diego Garcia Sayan, Special Rapporteur on the independence of judges and lawyers.
He is not a special person, and I do not recognize his rapporteur title. Tell him not to interfere with the affairs of my country. He can go to hell. Sabihin mo. Putak. Kikaalam sa, that's an internal problem of the country. He should not meddle it, with it, brother. Yan ang, alam man ninyo bakit ako I exploded. Kasi sinabi ko sa kanya, wala, sinabi ko na sa iyo, hindi ako It is not my habit, actually. Hindi ko pinapakialaman niya, dap na yan, sinong nagkapera dyan, sinong nagnakaw. I never issued any single statement against anybody about DAP. Kung sinong kumaukaw dyan, sabi ko, wala ako. Because I leave it to the ombudsman. Hindi ko naman, there's the ombudsman who can investigate. And if he decides to file a case against them, I will not.
That's all, Mr. President. Thank you.
Tinawag na tayo ng piloto.
Tawag na. 12:20 daw, Mr. President.
Thank you for listening to my outburst again.